playoff team and what that would mean for you this season?
It means a lot going into the season, being able to count on everybody else supporting us.
All right. Next up is going to be Steve Isbitz.
Hey, Will, what did you really work on this offseason to try to tweak your game and improve? I know guys always like to say they worked on everything, but what did you really focus on?
Actually, I did work on some stuff specifically. I took everything out of my exit meeting and I tried to implement it into my workouts. Try to put on enough weight to stay consistently above 300 pounds. I tried to work on my lateral movement, tried to work on my pass rush. That's really what I focus on, just making my body right, pass rush and lateral movement.
And the 3-4 defense, what was that like for you, that learning curve and switching to it? You know, you had spent a lot of time not in that.
I had a lot of similarities to my rookie year when I played the head up 4 technique, but it was definitely fun. It was a lot more fun to be able to have the realm of knowing outside in. I have protection on the inside and the outside of me. Defensive scheme was amazing. I think once we all picked it up, our defense started to show when you watch the games.
Okay, next question is going to come from Tom Krasnicki.
Hi, Will. Good to talk to you again. Hope you're doing well. My question to you is about your rush defense. You have everybody back from a year ago. You guys only allowed 74 yards per game. So is the goal as a unit to be number one again, to maybe even top those numbers if that's possible?
Definitely. Every year, the defense goes in to try to be the best in every single category. I don't think anything's going to change. I know it's going to be a lot harder because now we have a target on our back, and we definitely got to produce in and out every single day.
Okay, next up is going to be Jen Lane.
Hey, Will, just wanted to get your impressions of Tom Brady. Even though you're lining up on the other side of the ball, what are your impressions of him as a teammate? What's it been like going to work with him every day?
He's definitely a professional. You can see it in the way he carries himself on and off the field, even in the locker room. Had a couple conversations with him. He a cool guy to be a Michigan guy, but I definitely enjoy it. I like seeing him toss the ball around.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we're going to have John Ledyard.
Well, we've talked to a lot of guys, a lot of your teammates in the last few days, and I'm just curious because most of these guys that we talked to, they've only been there a year or two or maybe less. And so I'm just curious with you, having been around this organization for a long time, is it notably different? Is everything noticeably different this year? What do you feel like has changed the most from maybe early on in your days with the Bucs to where this team is at right now heading into the 2020 season?
I think that the culture that Coach Arians brought in when he first got here is more established. It's nothing that we have to pick up. It's something that we already know coming into the locker room. We know what's expected of us. We know how to accomplish it. And we know how to work. Right now, we just got to tighten up all the screws and make sure everything is full go to be able to do what we know we can do.
Nacho's gotten a lot of praise as we talk to people in the organization. What have you observed from his game and what's changed in his game?
Well, some of the offseason, Nacho was working out with me. I know the type of work that he put in. I know the dedication he put to it. And just to see it flourish while we out there on pads, if you guys have a chance to watch the practices, he noticeably shows up all the time. So it's going to be exciting when it's time, when it really counts.
All right, next question is going to come from Andrew Cassidi.
Well, Ndamukong Suh was one of the more understated re-signings of this offseason. What is his return to this defense, and what was your reaction when you learned he was going to be coming back?
I apologize. I didn't hear your question fully.
All right, can you hear me now?
A little better, yes.
Okay, Ndamukong Suh was one of the more understated re-signings this offseason. What does a guy like him, or having a guy like him back in the interior for this defense?
It's fascinating. It's amazing the stuff that he does, not just with his gameplay, but just the knowledge of the game that he has, playing with a tremendous amount of violence and being able to show us exactly how to do it. You know, certain situations where I could come and lean on him when I need to work on my techniques. I see Vita do the same thing. I see the younger guys do the same thing. I think that's why they're so sped up to be rookies, because they definitely playing. They're not playing like rookies right now in practice. So just the mental aspect, the physical aspect, he's an all-around good player and a good leader in the room.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Greg Allman.
Will, you mentioned the rookies. I'd want to ask you what your first impressions have been of Khalil Davis and just what you like about him, what he has to do to get ready for things here in a couple weeks.
He's a cool guy. Like the way he moves, for him to be as big as he is or as small as he is, the way he moves and the way he holds himself, it's pretty cool. He's picking up the playbook good. Pass rush is crazy. The way he transitioned from run to pass is pretty good. Like, he does a lot of good things, and just to be able to fine tune, I know Coach Casey's going to be able to get him right.
Thanks, Will.
All right. Next is going to be Zach Blotner.
Hey, Will, thanks for chatting with us today a little bit, man. I just wanted to talk to you about week 1 in the Saints. It's rapidly approaching, obviously, no preseason. How do you feel like the prep is coming along? And that being a division game, is the defense a little bit more amped up to get to Drew Brees and get going after the Saints offense?
I think it's a lot of stuff that we have to tighten up, to be honest with you. As far as it being a divisional game, that's a big game just because it's the first game of the season. We have to be able to set the tone and be the defense that we want to be. We do definitely, as a D lineman, I want to get after every single quarterback. I know the whole room wants to, but I know for sure it's a lot of things we need to tighten up, get all, like I say, tighten the screws, man down the hatch, and get ready to go full steam.
Okay. Next is going to be Steve Isbitz.
Will, Shaq Barrett really had a historic season last year, and you were right alongside him. Can you sort of give a little perspective on what it was like to be next to a guy who's getting 19 and a half sacks and just what Shaq did last year as an unknown guy?
From a defensive perspective, it was beautiful. It was art. Like, you watch the way you rush, it was beautiful. You know, to be able to, what do you have, 9 sacks in the first 4 games? That's like video game stats. And to be able to watch him and know the type of guy that he is, and know his work ethic, and know how hard he worked on his brush moves to get there, and being able to contribute, it was just an amazing thing to see.
Okay. We have time for a couple more. Next is going to be Ed Encina.
It will, in the same vein. I mean, you lined up with Vita Vea for a couple of years now. How much did you think he improved over the course of the season last year? And what's kind of next for this guy in year 3?
It was like a night and day performance to see his first game he played was in Chicago. To see that rep, to compare it to the first game he played last year, was definitely night and day. And this year, I feel like he's going to be a complete and total monster and wreak havoc and total devastation when he's ready to go.
All right. Our last one's going to come from Josh Allen.
Hey, William, how you doing? Just wanted to, going into your second year, do you feel a lot more comfortable in Todd Bowles' defense, and do you think that will let you play more freely?
I think I will be able to use my assets well in this defense now, understanding the concepts and the schemes. Yeah.
And how have you been like a mentor towards these rookie guys, like Khalil Davis, Benning Potolate, Patrick O'Connor, Ledbetter? How have you kind of brought them along?
The most important thing right now, because like I said, it doesn't count. We didn't have a preseason, is to be able to be mentally prepared for everything. So really just studying the plays with them, taking their ear, whatever they need to know, whatever they need to say, trying to dumb the plays down to make it make sense to you. That way you speed up the gameplay.
Awesome. That's all for today. Thanks for taking the time, Will.
No problem. Thank you, guys.